Famously, at this point, we constantly talk about the work a song does in musical theater as being either some sort of plot movement or character development. I say famously because boy, do I talk about that all the time on this channel, in my courses, in all the places. And in order for us to accomplish that, plot movement, character development in a song, there needs to be some sort of vehicle through which we make it happen. And this is sometimes called the game of the song, a phrase that gets tossed around quite a bit. But what about when songs are in and of themselves a game? Does the game of the song still exist? What is the game of the song, and what is a game song? Do they work the same way as non-game songs? Does the term game mean something different between these two? And how exactly do you write a song that plays a game instead of doing other work? Or in addition to doing other work? These are great questions. Let's dive in. Let's chat about it. If you're new to the channel, hi, hello. My name is Michael Ratty. I am your musical theater writer guy, also known as your musical theater writing coach. So, welcome to the channel. I'm games, game songs, the game of the song. So, pardon me, I'm a little dry this morning. The game of the song is a term that is utilized often to describe the action that the song is doing in and of itself. So, if you're familiar with the songwriting challenge I did this past summer, it's up somewhere and available, go find it, go watch it if you haven't. I talk about there being three layers to a song. We've got a mechanical layer on the surface. Here's what's actually physically happening in the scene. Here's where we're starting, here's where we're ending, and here's how we're logically getting there. Sometimes that can be physical movement, like there's something physically happening during this song. Other times it is just the mechanics of an inner logic that pulls us through, right? It depends on what kind of song we're talking about. That is not the game. That is what underlies the game. But the game of the song is on that second layer down. Now, this is the layer where we are utilizing specific vocabulary that is appropriate to the world and to the characters and to the moment, the interactions between people, to talk through or about some sort of thesis that we are setting up and trying to prove, or we're playing a game. And we'll get to there. We'll get what a game song is in a moment. But it is the central idea around which the rest of the song is built so that we can do that mechanical thing. So for instance, if the mechanics of a song are that character A needs to convince character B to go somewhere with them that they don't want to go, okay? By the end of that, spoiler alert, I'm just going to give you the result ahead of time because we're writers. We know the result ahead of time. By the end of this, character B is going to agree. Okay? They're going to balk along the way. But essentially, character A is going to lay out an argument and they're going to give a point, a point. We're going to hear a counterpoint, a point, a counterpoint, a point, and then they land the conclusion and character B says yes. Okay, that's a mechanical layer. What the game of the song would then be is how is that person A, going to go about convincing character B to go? Is it about enticement of what is to come? If so, what is the language around that? What do they say? Which is usually encapsulated in the hook. Okay? This is the vehicle through which we make that argument and we make it happen, the mechanical side. That is the game of the song. So every song in musical theater that is doing some sort of work has a game. And then a game song, of course, also has a game. We mean it in a slightly different way with a quote unquote game song because a game song doesn't necessarily have to do any work. It does not have to move plot, it does not have to build on characters. So the game of the song may just be playing around and having a moment of fun. In which case it's doing slightly different work. So For the most part, when people call something the game of the song or the vehicle, or as my friends from BMI like to call it, the bicycle, it's the thing that's propelling us forward. It's the thing we're following. It's that central idea around which everything else mechanically is going to happen that pulls us through. And it's set really strongly in those lyrics, especially the hook, that idea. When we talk about a game song does not have a thesis to prove. In fact, quite often it's playing around with the opposite of an idea, kind of anti-proving it. Is that unproving it? Or playing around with what the opposite of it would be for fun. We have an idea, and we are going to give I like we'll get to examples in a moment. We have an idea, and we're going to play around with what that idea could mean. So there's nothing to prove. There's nothing driving us forward. There may be character development in here. It's probably not going to involve plot movement. I guess it could theoretically, but generally we're just playing with an idea. Hence game. It's a game song. No real forward movement. I know this can be kind of confusing and annoyingly confusing, but I think by looking at some examples here, which I'm not going to play through, because this is so lyric heavy, this idea that I'm just going to talk through these. I think I personally think the master of the game song is Cole Porter. He loves a game song, and he's great at writing them. One of my favorite game songs of all time is You're the Top. So if we look at the setup, okay, so You're the Top, I believe, was not written for anything in particular. It was a party song that he wrote to play and sing at parties and have people just enjoy themselves. Entertaining, it's a game, right? But it got put into Anything Goes. And so if we're looking at Anything Goes specifically, we've got two characters here, Reno and Billy, and they are going to sing about how they enjoy each other. That's pretty much the whole setup. Billy's lyric at the beginning as a verse is, "At words poetic, I'm so pathetic that I always have found it best, instead of getting them off my chest, to let them rest unexpressed. I'm not good with words." Okay. "I hate parading that my serenading, as I'll probably miss a bar. I'm just so terrible, right? I'm bad at things. So, therefore, if this ditty is not so pretty, at least it'll tell you how great you are." So what we're going to say is, I'm terrible at words. I am not very poetic. I'm not very good at saying good things while giving all these fun, delightful little rhymes and things. But I'm going to tell you how awesome you are. That is what we're following. That is, if we're going to talk about the quote-unquote game of the song, that's the game. The game is, I'm going to tell you how great you are, right? And because we're not actually moving forward in plot or character, we're not proving anything, we're just going to play a game. Hence, it's a game song. So, we have, "You're the top, you're the Colosseum. You're the top, you're the Louvre Museum. You're a melody from a symphony by Strauss. You're a Bendel bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet, you're Mickey Mouse." What are we doing here? We're just going through examples. Here's what I think is great. I think the Colosseum's great. I think the Louvre is great. Symphonies by Strauss, a Bendel bonnet, a Shakespeare sonnet, we're making cultural references? Have we proven anything about Reno? No. Does it seem like we've set out to prove anything about Reno? No. Why do we want to prove anything? I think you're great is the whole idea. And I'm terrible with words, but let me see if I can play around a little bit, right? He kind of undercuts himself here so that we, as an audience, really enjoy the lyrical delights, the poeticisms that are honestly not that poetic, right? These are very commonplace examples. Also, so I said mechanics, right? But then the game is going to be encapsulated by that hook. We have our idea from the verse of, at least it'll tell you how great you are. I'm going to tell you how great you are in the best way I can. But then the hook, "You're the top." There are a lot of ways we could have set that hook to say, "You're great." We could have said, "You're great." or you're the bee's knees, right? It's you're the top. And there's something about that setting that feels appropriate to the time and the characters, but also to the list of things that we have. It's like the Colosseum is the top of what? Sights to see in Rome? Okay. The Louvre, the top? Yeah, I mean, it's probably one of the largest art collections in the world. Sure. Okay. We're kind of playing with the idea of what is best through that idea, and then we get things like Mickey Mouse. Sure. Best at what, right? We never really say anything. We're never proving it. So it's a language mode that we're pulling through on. We continue. You're the Nile. You're the Tower of Pisa. You're the smile on the Mona Lisa. Sure, like this is so subjective, these things. Is the Nile great? Sure. Is it better than other rivers? I don't know that I could say that, right? It's a game. All we're doing is playing. Then we're going to flip it around briefly just to land the point, going back to well, I'm terrible, right? I'm a worthless check, a total wreck, a flop. But if baby, I'm the bottom, you're the top. I was enjoying the lovely fresh air, but apparently we have trucks. Okay, so that's a game. We're not doing anything, we're not moving anything forward. We're just having these people flatter each other. She does her, he does his thing, she does her thing, and then yay, we love it. It's a lot of wordplay, it's fun. Also an incredibly tight lyric. If you ever want to study just like the mastership of Cole Porter, I would say start with this one. It is so good. Okay, so that's an example of a game. Let's do another one. We have from Andy Get Your Gun. We have Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better. A classic. Did I bookmark this one? You know, it's entirely possible I did not. Does not look like I did. Well, anything you can do. Let me just look through here. Oh, by the way, everyone, I will be doing an Ask Me Anything at the end of this today. So if you would like, stick around for that. Yeah, yeah. I have it up. Darn. That's okay. I have the rest of these. But anything you can do, I can do better. I can do anything better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Yes. No, you can't. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Any song you can sing, I can sing better. I can sing any song better than you. No, you can't. Yes, I can. No, you can't. Yes, I. It's the whole song. And do they show off some of their skills? They do. Do they concede to each other a little bit? Sometimes. Do they often not concede? Yeah. Do they often show that they kind of are big-headed about some things and maybe aren't better than the other person? Yes. We're not actually proving that either one of them is better than the other one. It's just playing around with an idea. It's a friendly competition. Sometimes it doesn't feel so friendly depending on the version of the show you're watching, the production. But that's a game, right? What's the game of that song? Anything you can do. Anything. I'm better at it, right? All things. I'm better than you. Okay, right? We're getting this, hopefully. We're going to go through a couple more examples here. One that I think does not get talked about as a game song often, which seems silly to me, is Officer Krupke from West Side Story. Gee, Officer Krupke. It's seriously one of my favorite songs. So good. I think the reason it doesn't get talked about as a game song is because it is doing a little bit of character work here. Not because we're learning more about the characters, but our characters, the mechanical layer of what's going on here is a release of tension, a release of stress, a release of all the pent-up rage that these young men have, and they release it in the only way they possibly know how at this point, which is not through violence, which they've gone through violence. Now at this point, they're actually kind of scared of violence or abhorrent of violence. So what's the other thing to do? It's to let off that steam by venting, essentially. And so we are going to play a game. And what is the game? You're now Krupke, and I'm going to say to you all the things that I wish I could say. Dear kindly Sergeant Krupke, you gotta understand, it's just our bringing upke that gets us out of hand. Our mothers all are junkies, our fathers all are drunks. Golly Moses, naturally we're punks. Gee, Officer Krupke, we're very upset. We never had the love that every child ought to get. We ain't no delinquents, we're misunderstood. Deep down inside us, there is good. There is good. Right, are we actually proving anything here? No, not really. But in all the ways that they've been put upon by the world, and very specifically by this guy, right? He is so representative between, oh, I don't remember the detective's name, between him and Krupke, who's got a little bit of his stooge on the street. They are constantly being told, do this, don't do this, and often without good reason because of assumptions being made about them, which of course is hitting on major themes of the show in general. So what are they going to do? They're going to play this game. They're going to toss around who is Krupke in the situation, right? They're going to go through a judge and a therapist, and it's a whole moment. But it gives them an opportunity to let out the feelings that they don't want to be feeling in that moment in a way that is comedic, yes, but mostly a release of tension. And we need that after the major, like, climactic story beats that we've just had. So this is halfway through Act 2, and it lands so well every time. My goodness. Got to do this show once. It was beautiful. It was wonderful. And I loved seeing audience reactions to this song because it's one of my favorites. Always been one of my favorites. I also don't think that the movie or the original movie, I haven't seen the new movie. I don't think the original movie lands it as well. But no matter what, they felt like they could move it because it is indeed a game. At the end of the day, it's a game song. I've been neglecting my teeth. So before I move on to say a little bit more here, just wanted to let you all know, if you haven't seen yet, I've got an upcoming boot camp. It's a collaboration boot camp that I just started announcing. It's going to be 3 days. It's free starting on Monday, the 18th of November. And the original idea behind the boot camp was because collaboration is the biggest thing that I hear people constantly say, like, I need a collaborator. Like, it's the biggest complaint I hear is, I need a collaborator. I don't know where to find them or how to find them. And I do see a lot of mistakes being made along the way of trying to get a collaborator. But it's also, I don't think, as difficult as people think. And that was like the original impetus for me to create this 3-day boot camp. It's going to be Monday, Wednesday, Friday of that week. 12 p.m. Eastern time if you are available live. Just sign up. I will put it in a pinned comment. There will be replays. So still, again, sign up to get the replays. The other thing now, though, in light of the election results, is I really want to be hitting on the major thing that we all need to do. And we know we need to do it because we've been here before, which is coming together. Community, connection. This is how we create the stories, the art that is going to change the world in the way we want to see it changed. That's how you change hearts and how you change minds. So I'm going to be focusing there on collaboration first, because if you want the stories to happen, you've got to have a collaborator that you know, love, and trust. You have to be on the same page with one another, and therefore you need to know how to find them and how to make sure that it's going to be a good collaboration so that your stories can be made, go out into the world, and do the good work. So, my small first step contribution here is to help people on the side of collaboration, knowing what they need to know, well, what collaboration is and isn't, knowing what they need to know, and then how to find the people. So if you're interested in that, sign up for the boot camp. Because, hey, there's a lot of stories out there we all want to write. So let's write them. We got to get our people. Plus, if you know me at all or been on this channel at all, you know that community and connection are huge for me. I mean, I run a community for musical theater writers. It's the thing. Okay, off my soapbox. Here we go. A couple other things in here. Oh, here, let's talk about one of my favorites. So this is an example of a song that, ooh, sorry, my book wouldn't come. That is actively disproving. That is what the game is, because we are disproving. So it's like the anti-thesis, but it's still a game, because if you start with an idea that has to be proven, there's no such thing as not proving an idea that hasn't been proven yet, right? If something isn't proven, you can't disprove it. So, just like logically, it doesn't work. So the song Show Off from Drowsy Chaperone. Janet, a character who loves the limelight, famously so, but is giving up show business. Is she though? I don't want to show off no more. I don't want to sing tunes no more. I don't want to ride moons no more. I don't want to show off. I don't want to wear this no more. I'll play the saucy Swiss Miss no more. Blow my signature no more. I don't want to show off. Don't try to control me. I've made up my mind. That's it. I quit. I'm leaving it all behind. I don't want to be cute no more. Make the gentleman hoot no more. I don't want to wear fruit no more. I don't want to show off. Now, just the lyric itself makes it sound like, okay, I might be able to buy that as sincere. Maybe. But the phrasing of things makes you go, is she being sincere? Even that blow my signature, she doesn't say kiss. She does it, right? Clearly we doth protest too much. But that's the game. And then as we heighten it all the way through, and the music really lets us in on this fact of like, yeah, oh, she's not sincere at all. But we're playing with this idea. We're playing with the reporters. We're playing with everybody. We're playing with the industry. Please, it's that thing of don't make me sing. Don't do it. Please, don't. Right? Like, obviously, we want someone to do something. But we're certainly not proving anything. And there's no specific someone we're trying to get to do something. We just love adoration. We love being adored. And then as the song goes on, she actually starts doing all the things she says she's not going to do anymore. She shows off all of her skills. She literally shows off while she says, I don't want to show off. It's a game. It's all a game. Hopefully this is clear. If it's not clear, let me know. If you're here live, put it in the chat. Like I said, I'll also do an Ask Me Anything at the end. Sorry, y'all. I don't know why my throat's so dry today. Who's to say? Okay. So what's the purpose of a game song? Why do we have them? Such a good question. Thank you for asking. The first thing I'm going to say about a game song is, hey, musical theater, people buy a ticket to go to a musical because they want to be entertained. I'm not saying they don't also want to be made to think and to feel. Sure, yeah. I mean, it depends on the musical, for sure, how much thinking and how much feeling you're going to end up doing. But yeah, that's definitely a part of it. The other part, though, is entertainment, right? So often I have people looking around at the state of Broadway or touring or the West End and saying things to me like, but why all these adaptations of movies that shouldn't be made into musicals? The answer is, well, besides they think it's going to make money and it's hard to make a quick buck on Broadway. But the other major thing there is that it's entertainment. a lot of the things that are chosen to be adapted from film properties are because we already have a built-in audience who are entertained by the original property. Therefore, if you turn into a musical, that should be entertaining as well. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But entertainment is huge. A game song is, at the end of the day, entertaining. It could be a comedy song, doesn't have to be, right? I would argue that they may land more in the realm of charmedy, like partial charm song, partial comedy song, but they delight at the end of the day. A game is fun to play. If it's not fun to play, why are we playing it? My God. Okay. So that being said, when do we use a game song? Oftentimes, we're going to use a game song when we need a moment of fun or levity or rest. So a song like You're the Top is just meant to delight. Do we really need to stop the plot at that moment? No, not really. But are we going to enjoy the fact that we're stopping the plot at that moment? Yeah, because it's fun, right? And there's nothing wrong with that in a musical comedy. To just if you're delaying the audience, you're doing good work. If you write a song to delight the audience and it's not actually delaying them and then they get restless, well, okay, then you've got rewrites to do, right? Anything you can do, I can do better. It's kind of establishing a deeper relationship between those two characters. So is it doing quote unquote character work? Maybe, not really though, right? We get a sense that they're competitive. They say it, and then they sing a song about it. So they just play a game, and we get to watch and enjoy their friendly competition. You do have, like I said, Officer Krupke. A great moment to play a game is after a high moment of tension. So if you look at any spot in a musical where a charm song or a comedy song might normally go, perhaps you ask yourself, should this song just be a game? Does it need to do any sort of work? Because, I mean, a charm song classically does no work. So they tend to be game songs. Not always. They tend to be, right? Sometimes they are some sort of thesis we're proving, but we're not actually proving. But we're also not playing with the idea. It's more of like, oh, I don't know what I want to call it. Like a meditation on theme more than anything. But charm songs are usually game songs. Comedy songs don't always have to be game songs, but if you're looking for a spot in your musical, that's a great place to look. Show Off is indeed an establishment song for Janet, um, but there's nothing we need to know about her besides she loves to show off. That's literally her character. Yay! So we do a song about it. Great. So it works to establish someone who's like two-dimensional or one-dimensional very easily, but generally speaking, moments of rest are great places to look. How do you write one? Great question. You do it. It's kind of it. Like, you know how a game is played. Yeah, you have fun. What's the way in which we're gonna have fun? Like, first of all, what's the idea around which we're gonna play or with which we're gonna play? And then you have to just decide, how are we going to play with it? Or how would these characters play with it? Clearly, uh, let's say if the Jets were to sing a "You're Great" song, they would not use the words "You're the top." And these young men who grew up on the West Side at the time that they were alive would not have traveled the world. And so they probably wouldn't be making references like the Louvre Museum or the Colosseum. They would probably go about this in an entirely different way with different language, right? And also, it might be slightly aggressive. Instead of being so light and playful and like personally degrading, maybe the greatness has more of an edge to it. And that probably affects the structure of the song. Do multiple people sing at once? Is it one section with one person at a time? Right? The language of the world and the characters and the way they play the game makes all the difference in the world. All the difference. So, establishing what the game is, right, that we're going to play, what the language is around it, and then who's involved so you can know what kind of language to give to it. That's how we write a game song. Are they easy? No! Are they fun? You betcha. I wrote one recently for the King's Legacy, for the new version that is now set in cells and ready to go to big production. There was a spot where I needed just to show that Anne Boleyn is smart and witty. So I was like, great, that is one thing to show. Let's play a game. So I have her play a game with two of the other characters, and it's silly and surprising and it's delightful. And we learn one thing about the character. We kind of learn it in the dialogue setting up to the song, but then we just kind of like play around with the idea and we double down, and by the end, we are sure she is smart and witty. Great games. Hopefully this all makes sense. Game song versus game song. I know it can be confusing. We like to mix our language a lot in musical theater. But shared language is kind of the key to understanding things. As my good friend Patrick Spencer likes to say, shared language is everything. So I'm going to stick around for some questions. Ask me anything. We've got plenty of time today. It can be about this, can be about any other topic. Hence the anything. And anything you can ask, I can ask better. So, just to reiterate, bootcamp, collaboration bootcamp. We have to come together. We have to create. In order to do so, we need collaboration. We need good collaboration that results in good art that is going to do what you want it to be doing. So, make sure to sign up. Again, I will put a link to that sign up in the comments, and I'll pin it to the top so you can sign on up. Starts on Monday, the 18th of November at noon Eastern, US Eastern. And there will be replays, but you gotta sign up to get the replays, because otherwise I don't know where to send the emails. So please sign up. Great. I will wait a second to see if anyone has questions. And anything else I need to announce to y'all? I mean, we're going to be doing a pitch party event inside the Musical Theater Writing Collective in early December. I don't have a ton of details about that yet, but essentially it's going to be an opportunity for people to come together, have some FaceTime, hear about one another, and just provide a practice space, a fun, light practice space to practice pitching yourself, or a show that you have, or a show you want to write. So could be a good follow-up to the collaboration bootcamp to then bring in a pitch of what you're looking for if you're looking to get a collaborator for a specific project or a specific project idea. So that's fun. That's upcoming. I think we have other upcoming stuff. Well, we have 2 readings inside the collective coming up. Got one next week, actually. Children's musical. It's a delightful one. I'm excited. And then a full-length musical at the beginning of December as well. Because we have a reading series, if you didn't know. We do readings every month or 2, depending on the time of year. And what people are doing. All right. I don't see any questions coming in. So we'll just make this a short one today. My friend, hopefully this clarified things. If it didn't, you know where to find me. I'm going to put a link to the bootcamp, and I hope to see you all again soon for a new live stream, a new topic. And in the meantime, take care of yourselves and your nerve systems, and I'll see you again soon. All right. Cheers, everyone. Goodbye.